My people, give me 1 second. Let's get it popping real quick. Ow, there's a little link right there. I'll be right back. I got to read this to us so that way, whenever they get here later, they get to hear it. The historical legacy of Juneteenth. This is at the National Museum of African American History and Culture. .si.edu. And let's go ahead and read the article. Emancipation Day celebration, June 1900. That's the picture that you guys seen on the thumbnail. The picture you saw on the thumbnail is the very first picture on this website, and we're gonna read this article. On Freedom's Eve, or on the eve of January 1st, January 1, 1863, the first watch night services took place. On that night, enslaved and free African Americans gathered in churches and private homes all across the country, awaiting the news that the Emancipation Proclamation had taken effect. At the stroke of midnight, prayers were answered as all enslaved people in Confederate states were declared legally free. Union soldiers, many of whom were black, marched onto plantations and across cities in the South, reading small copies of the Emancipation Proclamation, spreading the news of freedom in Confederate states. Only through the 13th Amendment did emancipation end slavery throughout the United States. But not everyone in Confederate territory would be immediately free. Even though the Emancipation Proclamation was made effective in 1863, it cannot be implemented in all places still under Confederate control. As a result, in the westernmost Confederate state of Texas, enslaved people would not be free until much later. Finally, freedom came on June 19th, 1865, when some 2,000 Union troops arrived in Galveston Bay, Texas. The Army announced the more than 250,000 enslaved black people in the state were free by executive decree, a 250,000. Let that sink in. This day came to be known as Juneteenth by the newly freed people in Texas. The post-emancipation period, known as Reconstruction, 1865 through 1877, marked an era of great hope, uncertainty, and struggle for the nation as a whole. Formerly enslaved people immediately sought to reunify families, establish schools, run for political office, push radical legislation, and even sue slaveholders for compensation. Given the 200 plus years of enslavement, such changes were nothing short of amazing. Not even a generation out of slavery, African Americans were inspired and empowered to transform their lives and their country. Juneteenth marks our country's second Independence Day. Hmm. Although it has long celebrated, although it has long celebrated in the African American community, this monumental event remains largely unknown to most Americans. The historical legacy of Juneteenth shows the value of never giving up hope in uncertain times. The National Museum of African American History and Culture is a community space where the spirit of hope lives on, a place where historical events like Juneteenth are shared and new stories with equal urgency are told. Equal urgency. Man, we're going to go through this article. We're going to break the article down. Salute to everybody that's here. I'm looking at this page. I don't do all that extra because it's too much on me. Right on. It's too much. I just need to focus. Let's listen to this real quick, though. Let me break this down. First off, foremost, I don't personally get into the Juneteenth thing. Um, this year hit different. Pops passed away, but sidebar: has anybody other than me noticed, like, dude, why is Juneteenth and Transformer Month and the men who lay with men as a woman month, right? And vice versa. Why is that month and Juneteenth confused? Like for example, why is Black History Month just not June and Transformer Month and people laying with other people who are the same as them, like it was the other month, not in February? Just a sidebar. Let's get back to Juneteenth. Now, this article is beautiful. Freedom's Eve. Wow. Whoever wrote this article was, and they put Freedom's Eve in quotation because, this is clearly somebody who understands that we're not free. Let's go ahead and say that. Now, I don't want to criticize the writer, but I'm very critical of what I see. So we're going to go to several things that hit me in the breadbasket. Okay. Enslaved and free African Americans gathered in churches and private homes all across the country, waiting the news the Emancipation Proclamation had taken effect. Okay, that's deep. So obviously there was news that it was going to happen. Skip forward real quick into the article where there was people who were reading it out loud, right, to other folks. And they say that it were Union soldiers, many of whom were Black, marched onto plantations and across cities in the South. So there were cities and I need y'all to understand, a plantation is private property. You understand me? You can't just walk onto a plantation. Anything can happen to you on a plantation. You think you think a white slaver never fed another white dude to the hogs and had the niggas to do it? Shh. However, what I'm talking about is, outside of that, but I'm talking about it. And while I'm talking about it, I have to express and expound things that another person might not bring up because they're not me. Having said that, enslaved and free. Notice they put the enslaved people first and then the free people. Okay. Notice that they knew that there were already free Blacks. Now they call them African Americans. I'm going to point out my issue with calling Black people or Negroes or what I really feel like brown people, and some of them dark brown, cherry cola dark, right? And some of them as light as a pistachio shell. Some of them even lighter than that. Some of them looking all the way white, not pink at all, but white, giving us an indication of what Noah or Noe truly look like. Let's go ahead and keep talking, keep it pushing. Um, there's a lot of little things. There's a lot of things. But one of the greatest things is these people, or this person who wrote this article, called us African Americans. And that's a great thing because it tells you the pressure felt when they produced this. The pressure being to having to give credit to those who sold us here in the first place. We're not them. But if you say that we're them, then they're pretty much saying, and they're saying they sold the trash. We gave you our worst. We gave you the nothings. Listen to me. To call you an African American, and it matters on Juneteenth because it's an insult, and I will not stand for it any further. The writer of this article was under pressure. Trust me. Let's keep reading. How I know this? Skip, 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 skip. Formerly enslaved people immediately sought to reunify families. Stop right there. Anybody who knows me, go back to my oldest videos. Go back to the oldest video I bring up slavery. I guarantee you, I bring up the fact that we as people, the first thing we did was sought to go find our people. I guarantee you I told you that. I ain't never been to this website right here. Now, why I stress that is because as opposed to people celebrating a day where people sought to go and reunify themselves with family, this is a day of the birth of the chitlin circuit and the foolery and all the things like that. I need y'all to understand. Juneteenth is not. It's not what people make it out to be. See, these guys want to be on a screen talking to you one way, talking to you to the other. Salute, brother. I'm good. I'm excellent. They want to be on a screen talking to you, looking at you. I want to do one thing at a time. See, I was taught in the Marine Corps by the same person who taught me to shoot with both my eyes open, Corporal Neal. Corporal Neal said, and if he's still in, he's got to be a gunny by now. He's got to at least be a gunnery sergeant by now, if not a full-blown master sergeant, at least. But Corporal Neal said, he said, Jones, he said, multitasking is the ability to perform several things poorly at once. Emphasis on poorly. I don't multitask. I isolate my energy. I can speak to my people while I read. As I say this, we all heard in the article all the things. Now let's just see how much I got gathered up in my mind because now it's just me and the camera. In my mind, people look at Juneteenth and say, this is a nothing holiday. And it's like, it's not a holy day, you're right. But none of these so-called holy days are holy. But they celebrate them. Right? And now, nonetheless, now let's speak on my issue. This is the Juneteenth special. See, why does our struggle have to be amalgamated with every other struggle? Right. See, it's not enough that we were enslaved, but now you have to create an alternative day in a month where it seems as if 100 years out of its planning, it was done. I need you to understand this. Homosexuals have been in this country for forever. Forever. As long as there's been people, listen, they've been here forever. Why do you think there's laws in the Bible against such activity? Right. Let's break it down in our minds real quick. And I'm not all over the place. I'm trying to bring it home. Juneteenth, they picked a day in the month, June 19th. People are like, why is that so important? It's like, first off, did y'all hear that? Less than 1% of the people who were soldiers with rifles freed a quarter million black people. I need y'all to understand this. The fuckery that they'll put on paper and tell you. And that's not that this person who put the article together was being mischievous or whatever. I'm speaking about the truth. See, this is the part that hits the most. It talked about the struggles that came afterwards, Reconstruction, but it didn't talk about Jim Crow, which was disheartening. Did you hear me? Disheartening. Because, let's go back. 1863, right? Boom, to the Juneteenth. Now, when I go, boom. One second. 13, 13, 13. And I got to go to the federal holiday part. There we go. Hang. 1 second. And they want to do all this celebration in church. I don't even care about all that stuff, right on? I'm gonna go down here. Gotta find the same article. I can't find this little article right now. But I'll have it posted later. But it just talks about like 1900, the year 1900 in particular. And then I looked at that, and then it was I looked at the time frame between when they put the gay boy month, the gay girl month, and it was like 100 years between. So from when they really recognized Juneteenth, I want to say it was like in like 1900, right? Like the first time they really like recognized it for real. And then and I'm not just talking about like none of the bullshit. I just don't feel like looking for it, but I'll find it, and I'll because I look at things like this, but I don't have no. I don't care about finding the history. It doesn't matter that much because I know where it's at. I seen it earlier, and I was like, damn, they did a 100-year plan on a nigga where it was 100 years between the Juneteenth being recognized, and then 100 years later, uh, the gay boy, gay girl shit was all the way jumped off. 1999 in this country, Bill Clinton and his administration is the Gay and Lesbian Pride Month, the first one ever in this country. I need y'all to let that sink in. These are the same black people who say, "Oh, he was the first black president." Dumbass niggas don't know shit, and they would try to tell me something about Juneteenth. Can you hear me? but they did the 100-year plan. That's my point. That's what these are all things that I've been trying to tell people about this shit. They put it together. They understand how much time they had. And it wasn't even a whole 100 years. It's just what they think is 100 years. The other little part I wanted to talk about was at midnight or whatever it says, right? In the article. And I'm gonna find it exactly what it says. At the stroke of midnight, prayers were answered. Okay, stop right there. Midnight has no sun. Do y'all see the sun in the background? No, fuck all the bullshit, man. Do you see the sun in the background or not? Do you see the light? Okay, it can't be midnight and then a brand new day the next day. And 1 minute later, 60 seconds later, you need that sun. It has to be there. Otherwise, it's not the day. And all the mental fallacies of individuals now, they can't even understand. However, right, on that so-called night and day, when the emancipation was hit up, these cats had to wait another almost 2 years, a little over 2 years. Problem with that is this, though. Doesn't that tell y'all that Texas is the most racist place on the whole fucking US outside of Mississippi and Alabama? I'm talking about clearly they have to be the most racist. It's not even a question. Like I would contend that they're more racist than all the other. They're not even in the South as far as time zones are concerned. They're in the Midwest. Let that sink in, people. They're not on the Eastern time zone. They're on the Central time zone. Right. But their country podunk racist. And that's what makes it the South. Nigga, Washington is the South if that's the fucking case. Please, excuse my language, but I'm gonna refrain from a whole bunch of profanities, but that man, they got me playing, bro. Nah. I've been to a lot of places, and I guarantee you, you come out here to Washington, spend more than 2 weeks, I, for a fact, can guarantee you, you will deal with some bigots where you're like, damn, they microaggress like that out here. Yeah, it's like that. They always say ignorant nonsense. They can't help it. The blessings are this, though. While people think they know something, they don't know anything. Break it down. Real simple. Juneteenth is supposed to be a holiday where black people who 250,000, I need you to understand how many individuals that is. Do you know how many cities there are in the US right now that don't even have 3,000 people, let alone 2,000 people? 250,000 of us were waiting to be freed. These punk ass dudes in Texas will tell you to remember the Alamo before they tell you to remember Juneteenth and how they tried to hold out. Got beat down by the Mexicans. Look, man, leave me alone, dude. Yeah, y'all came back and took some shit, but nigga, you got your ass whooped at first. Don't ever, that never happened to us. Let me go ahead and say that. Never would have happened to us. Too bad that you didn't look anyway. Moving past that. And they want to act like, what? Let it sink in, people. They talk about remember the Alamo. Ain't that about a you know what? And so that's what I'm talking about. They're crusty. They're like, Meech. But what about the history? What about people reunifying? I've been saying that. All the things that article said. That's that's a nutshell and a real microcosm version of everything. Juneteenth is looked at as like some sort of like, oh man, this is our real. They put your day in the middle of a month of individuals who, if they could, would end the whole earth in one generation. Let that sink in. Y'all niggas is diabolical who want Juneteenth. Everybody who's a real black person who I don't believe in none of these laws and this shit like this in this land. I just abide by. But if you really care about all that, why don't y'all say, hey man, we want to switch Juneteenth. Look, either Juneteenth is no longer Juneteenth and we don't want to celebrate it because it's in the middle of a month of some individuals who did not help us. I don't want to hear about some so-called accounts of a gay boy soldier or none of that. Okay, where were they at? Did they help black people get free? Fuck no. But yet you got right. You have the nerve to put a month of a straight up nonsense foolery on a day where it's supposed to say that the last holdout of the ultimate bigots were forced to give up their property. But don't nobody want to say it like that. That's what happened. And everybody be out here want to hoot and rah. Man, fuck all that. Look, dude, don't get me. Look, I know niggas want to push back. If they was here, they would be like, what about this? What about that? Niggas always want to push back. And in person, I listen to them. And then even when I give it to them politely, I say, hey, look, yo, Juneteenth is a joke. It's a joke at best, a practical one. Look how they feel about you to this day. Right. You supposed to be free. Where's the Afro town in every city? Every place? Huh? Where's it at? You can't tell me. You didn't even make your own products. You don't even keep the hair from your barbershops to make wigs for people with cancer in your own communities. And you talk to me about how much I know, and you think you're a genius, and you think you're a builder, then you better go sit down. I know way more. If I cut my hair off, it'll be for a righteous cause. It'll be for my people. for a little baby who's going through something. Yeah, put this on their head so that way their confidence is right. Build them up, make them believe in themselves. Let the Most High God touch their spirit and soul. And if He's going to remove them from the earth, let that be the case. But if He's going to keep them, let that be the case. But these dudes is cowards and scared. And I don't have no time to be patting them on the back. I'm not going to pat no homosexual on the back. You're not. Just because this dude or this chick is gay and black, oh, they're like, I have a double. You choose to be like that. Unless you was really born wickedly messed up, you choose to be that way. When I say wicked, I mean like you come from the seed of somebody who done did something that don't nobody know about, and that's why you like that. The Most High God is like, I have a way of letting the evil show. Right on? Word? The worst part to that person escaped into the earth. They don't want to hear that. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Juneteenth. I'm like, man, look, give these gay dudes and these gay chicks your shortest month. I mean, that's the only logical thing. It's the only thing that makes sense. Listen to me, black people. Y'all need to petition that Black History Month be removed from February and switch with June. And let them have Pride Month. Boom. They can get a back-to-back this year if y'all do it smoothly. Otherwise, you're gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to keep waiting. Right on? That's the kind of shit I'm moving for. I'm not gonna move for nothing else. That's real nigga shit, man. You're not gonna associate a day in which my people are supposed to have gotten free in a month full of faggotry. Man, you got me all the way bent. Man, man, bro, I'll break this whole cup across their head. Do you understand me? Even if you think I'm playing, I'm not. I'll bust this whole cup across their head trying to tell me some stuff like that. I don't know who they think they're dealing with. I don't know who everybody else thinks they're dealing with. That's basic sense. They're like me. We ain't never talked about this before because it ain't never hit me like this before. And Father's Day was yesterday. I ain't never had a Juneteenth that was followed by a Father's Day that I can really think about. Word. Boom, bang, bang. They got it. Boom, bang. They got they lined it up. The stars have lined up, they say. Whatever. And it just hit me. I was like, man, these niggas got me all the way fucked up. They're out here doing the most. They want to be celebrated for being debaucherous and the least worthy individuals to live. Let them all jump off a bridge. If every gay person killed themselves tonight, the earth would still be the same tomorrow. That's a fact. That nigga, the earth would be the same, better off tomorrow. Really, really. But she would be the same. Right. They're trying to end the whole earth. They want to end all life. And they got our people's day. So once again, if you niggas is gonna ride and step up and march, you gotta talk about the real shit. Don't be just talking about no hoe shit on some Juneteenth, nigga. Talk about the real. This is why I pressed the line on all that. That's why I've been pressing the line on all that. Because I understood what we were up against. But go back and listen to my last few videos. That's why that F word, that fag word has been so heavy. Because I know what they were doing. I'm like, what? I'm like, man, this really just hit me. It hit me this right at 32. I was like, whoa, why is this day on this month? Like, what the hell's going on here? And everybody's like, you just now caught that? Are you niggas? Oh, so you knew and you didn't say nothing? You didn't blow the trumpet, nigga. You going to hell, nigga. I blew the trumpet right now. I let everybody know there's some fuckery going on. And it's not this potion that's making me speak like this. This is me, just how you feel. We all know how I get down anyway, when not drinking. Still talk the most shit. I don't care right now, though. And I'm not extolling, bloviating. There's no conjecture. This is the so-called homosexual month. Transformer month. Don't know what I want to be month. Right? This is don't know what I want to be month, right? You know what I'm saying? On top of all the other stuff. I think I know where I'm at. If I thought wrong, somebody inform me. Is that the sun in the background or the backdrop somewhere? I think that's the sun. He ain't been here all day. He making a cameo right now. But let me go ahead and speak on it. Juneteenth, so-called, right? It took 2,000 so-called soldiers, so-called, to free 250,000 people. I need y'all to understand that. On the face, that is. Niggas looking like bitches. Right. You wouldn't free yourself? Did they not know they were free? Oh, the emancipation didn't reach everywhere in the so-called US? I'm trying to figure out what was going on there. Or did they like it so much it was like, Master, till they comes, we gonna stay his witches. I want to know. Because I'm having a hard time figuring it out. I'm not stupid, ignorant, or none of that. I might be insane, blindness, and astonished, but I'm not crazy because I'm aware of those things that are going on in my mind. I do this. I do the same thing expecting a different result. That's right. I'll cast this rod in the same place and eventually I'm gonna catch a fish. How insane am I when I catch the fish though, and I only put it in the same place? Like, throw it out here. No, I'm gonna throw it right here, and one day I'm gonna get one. And while they keep casting their rods out there, not getting any fish, I keep getting all the fish. How are you getting all the fish? It's because whatever the nature is has changed. I'm not insane anymore. As long as I can realize that I will only seem crazy while this process plays out this way. So right now, I seem crazy to the people if they want to think that. But I'm telling you this though, once the process starts to go differently, don't say nothing stupid. There, there will be no time for you to really call on the Most High God. Nothing. You're going to be asked out, as they say, with an all the way shite diaper. Juneteenth, huh? They hijacked the whole holiday. They want you to talk about chitlins and hog mob, right on, right? They want to talk about butter bean with ham hock cut up in it, greens with a little bit of pig feet sliced up in it, huh? That's what they want. They want the swine Towski special, the swine Tillian special. That's what they want, right? Do you know what people really went through to find their families? Real action movies, movies of real deceit and foolery. Only it played out real time. Imagine being a man or a woman or a child that was freed from slavery. And everyone was like, you're on your own, boy. Right. Craziness. You don't think that ever happened, but just know that it did. You're on your own, little girl. And you wonder why your people turned into the individuals that they are now. Some of them don't even have bloodlines that look anything like them. Some of them have bloodlines that still look like them, but they're all the way messed up. This is the sad part for those who were left behind. But most, like I say, most black people sought to reunify. And of course, you have to assume that there were many people who took on the young ones who were not their own, right? Problem child, this, that, the other. Once again, this has been a thing going on forever. Need I speak the true law of Moses to the people? The real reason why black people weren't as messed up when they got out of slavery is because more people practice the actual Old Testament. That's right. And as integration became more prevalent, the new testimony of forgiveness by the words of the so-called beloved brother Paul became more prevalent. It would change the understanding and the outlook of the people and how they should treat those whom once they considered their enemies and had been treacherous unto them, even though they were not treacherous, at least in this land. I tell you what, my people, it's a blessing of blessings. It's an honor to be here. It really, truly is. Most of the people don't really understand that this day is not a day that they should be celebrating. They should be looking at it and being like, damn, it took 2,000, it took less than 1% of them to free them. You don't think 10% of them unarmed could have freed themselves? Shh. We're not even talking about being rebellious. At this point, it's the law of the land. Do listen, whoa, 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 whoa. Do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. So I would have freed them if that's the law of the land. If I did not free them and they rebelled and took their freedom, I would accept it, either in my death and demise or just in my complete utter destruction. I don't have to be dead to be destroyed. Having that said that, why is it that people don't realize that there's a give unto Caesar what is Caesar's? The Most High God is with me right now. Give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. That's right. So as those people hear those sirens in the street, they're supposed to abate their cars, move them out the way, okay? So that way they can traverse the lanes that they need to expedite the service of whatever so-called or true life emergency it may be. Having said that, no different was the Emancipation Proclamation. Once it was written, put out, and spoken, if anyone in Galveston Bay was read those words and did not repeat and utter those words, they did not give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. They cannot call themselves a true Christian. I'm not no Christian. I'm gonna shit on them right now. They cannot call themselves a true Christian, a true believer in Christ, because you abandoned what the Christ told you to do in the namesake of what you thought and believed was right in that moment. I heard a man say to me the other day, he said, Moses ain't with me right now to help me do this right now. We here. I would go on to say to the same individual, I said, that sort of thinking is why we're here stuck in this land right now, because of individuals like you. I'm not afraid to speak up to anyone and everyone. The Most High God said, let your words be few. My words are few because I don't say everything that comes to my mind. As I speak to you now, there are a plethora, almost an infinite number of things I could bring to bear to my mind. But the idea that 10% of those people, 20%, 50% of them did not stand up to die for themselves tells me that it will take more than that for us to get free now. You do realize what their plan is with these immigrants, right? trying to pin us down, people. Y'all don't get it, do you? You're not gonna be able to go nowhere. Give it a few more years. Where are you gonna be able to go where you don't have enemies? Why do you think all those tornadoes keep tearing up all those places where poor black people are at? So they can go back in and try to redevelop them for way more money. You already know it. You already knew it, Nucleus. Once again, this is look, I know it sounds crazy to them. They don't understand. But when their people put it back on the break screen or whatever they do when they eat their little popcorn, listen, the truth is this. They hate the fact that this is a day that they use against us. Look at it. They don't call Juneteenth critical race theory, do they? Fuck no. Right. That's the nonsense I'm talking about. And I pray that your body is feeling better, my brother. Hope you feel healthy enough to wrestle a bear. Having said that, I'm saying the truth, man. They hate the fact that I say the truth. I'd hate it too if I've been living a lie this whole time. I stopped living a lie and I'm trying to completely stop living a lie because there's other lies that I live in order to stay alive. And when those lies cease, then I can truly live the life that I know I need to live. Shit, I'm serious. You know, I, I want the best for the people. I don't want the worst for them, but I can't want the best for them if they don't want the best and they don't believe they're the best. See, you know what I do? I'm just caveat for 2 seconds. When I'm at work and I talk to people, the first thing I let them know is I'm the best. You ain't got to worry about it. The best. If you don't tell people that to give them the reassurance of your service, you already failed yourself. Giving y'all some game from your boy right now. They'll never know if I don't tell them. That's right. I'm the best. I always say that. It don't matter. I tell everybody that. I don't care. Could care less who it is walking by. Okay, could be the president. I'm telling him I'm the best. Right on. I'm the best. Word. I'm letting the president know I'm the best. The only one I ain't gonna say that to. Okay, we already know who I ain't gonna say that to. Word. But if he asks me who I got for the job, I'm gonna let him know. Right, straight up. I'm the best man for the job. I'm ready. What you need me to do? That they don't. Y'all don't. You got to go at it like that. If that's not your approach, you're doing yourself a disservice. It's a failure in your service because you already don't believe you're the best. That's the problem. I go at everything like that. If I ain't never told nobody that, that's the truth. Yours might look better, but I'm still the best. Don't worry. It has yet to cultivate, but it will cultivate. And when it does, there will be no argument about who the best is. That's how you have to be. It's an inner competitive nature. I don't have to compete with anyone. I'm competing with myself. And once I outdo myself one time, I have to continue to outdo me. That's it. I don't have to outdo anyone else. That's it. Other people have never been told the things that I've been told. They've never been. Come on, man. Listen, I was working all last week, working the week before that. I worked a little concert with the little white dude, the George Strait, the other one who can actually sing, Chris Stapleton, and the other little dude that had come out here in Seattle. Right on, popping. Still telling white folks all about themselves. This is me. I don't care. I say some good stuff. If you cool with me, I'm cool with you. You come over here with some fuckery. I don't care what you look like. I got it for you. I don't care. Don't come at me with none of that nonsense. Don't tell me that Juneteenth is a great day. No, it's not, nigga. This should have never had to happen. They should have honored the laws of the land and they should have honored the laws of the Bible. These niggas abated both. These fuck niggas, once again, man. They're like, I don't want to. You're right. They got out the way. Right. Slap the shit out them for that. You feel me? I mean, hard. Way harder than that's just sitting down slapping them. That ain't me standing up, really just putting one on them. You understand me? Because I'm not playing with them. All that, like Uncle Elroy said. You know what I'm saying? Oh, y'all over there hugging and shit, right? I ain't doing none of that. When I'm cool, but when I'm not cool, I'm not cool. And I'm feeling like not cool right now. Obviously I love y'all my people, but I'm just saying like on the feeling, on the muscle, I'm not feeling it. Why should I? Why would I? These dudes look, the federal government did that. Same federal government that waged a war on drugs that disproportionately affected a certain community had the audacity, unmitigated gall, the fucking reins to say that we're going to put a fag month with these black people, some straight up twisted, wicked individuals, and make it that this day is in this month. I'm sick of it. Just like I said, I'm not calling babies kids. Just like I said, I'm not calling the children kids. Just like I said, I'm not saying human for person. Man, fuck Juneteenth if it's like that. And fuck this whole month. Nah, man. Nah, you got me fucked up. I said, I'm trying to hold back. Remember that? Man, nah, man. That's bullshit. Because check this out. How do you have a whole month dedicated to debauchery and people who would end their whole bloodlines if it was up to them? Let it sink in. Let's put everything else to the side. Let's say if they could choose that everyone was just like them. That's it. One generation, we're all wiped out. And we're celebrating that. And you got a day where the people are supposed to have gotten free, right? So-called, because the same individuals who okayed that sort of foolery are saying that we let you free this day. So-called. That's okay with you? Right, while they got fucking swine chop juice sweating down their face, swine ribs, and everything else. Straight garbage. And they know they're garbage. That's the part about it that makes it so crazy, is that they hate themselves so much that they'd rather not do the right thing. I told you, my mother's people, born in Mississippi. I'm a real nigga, whether y'all realize that or not. Okay, where would I have been born if I wasn't born in Washington? Let it sink in. Y'all think my bloodline is carried through my mother. Let it sink in, right? You Egyptologist ass niggas. I would have been born in Mississippi. At best, East St. Louis, Illinois. Let it sink in. Let's say it's just through my father, for those who believe in that sort of line of thought. More what I'm aligned with. It's a conjunction of two things, but I won't get into Adam and Eve because people don't understand that Adam was sleeping with himself. So the bloodline is the same no matter what. We can't even talk about that because they don't understand that. So a man and a woman supposed to be together from the same bloodline are supposed to be from the same people. So that way they are the same. If they're not the same, that means they're not the same people, meaning that they made a different individual. Having said that, if my people come from the same bloodline and I'm me and my father's him, I would have been born in Alabama. Yep. Guess what? At best case scenario, Toledo, Ohio. Let it sink in. You want a biblical story? Let that one hit you for a moment. My shit still go back to the South. I'm the people. Right. Quintessential nig type of thing. When they look at me, they're like, that's a brother, right? That's a brother. I'm not too light, I'm not too dark. Cause some people get intimidated by the darkness of the I don't they don't bother me. Shit, I got uncles, aunties, cousins, dark or darker than them. Nothing. Right on? Nothing. People when they super duper high yellow, almost white, I got people like that. Nigga, my great grandmother was white looking on my father's side. What y'all talking about? My son's mother, half breed chick, white looking. Not proud of nothing. We're gonna throw it out there and put that there. But you got me fucked up, man, to have my lineage sabotaged, my people sabotaged, and their reputation marred, all because there's some gay black people who were so debaucherous, so hateful towards themselves, that they would rather watch us all die than to speak up and tell the truth. That they're in the wrong, that they've been in the wrong. One time I got into an argument with a gay black dude across the street because this nigga was talking shit. I was like, man, fuck you, faggot, you punk ass nigga. He was talking crazy, tried to swell up and shit. I was like, you walk over here, I'm gonna I'll knock your whole head off, nigga. It was right, it got intense because this is a dude. I don't see you as no chick, nigga. I see you as a grown ass man, nigga. Right on, who might have punch power. I don't give a fuck about you being gay. I'll sock you, nigga, just like I'll sock anybody else. I was like, nigga, I'm gonna pray for your punk ass because you fucked up. You's a punk ass motherfucker. He's like, well, pray for me today. He's like, because I talked to God and he ain't hearing me. And I was like, see, that's some weak shit. Because I said, because you don't want to change. No word said after that. Right. I'm on top of their heads. When I see a gay black person, especially a gay black man, and I'm like, whoa, look at this dude. This guy's supposed to have a life. Is he a part of one of those bloodlines of people that got us sold here? Is he a part of one of those bloodlines of people as to the reason why the priesthood and the actual tribes of Israel couldn't do right? Or is he one of those ones who they was afraid to do away with? Is he? Huh? Fucking A. Or she. But it's always the he's. It's always the gay black dudes they put in the highest positions. I told y'all. Y'all know how I feel about these individuals. They're all homos. You got to watch them. I'm not talking about every single person. I'm talking about the ones that get way too high up where you're like, man, how the fuck this nigga get up here? Unless this dude was like a once in a lifetime genius, unless this woman's a once in a lifetime genius, they're normally a homosexual. Right. There's a bunch of non-talented homosexuals who are black people who get the spotlight because they're black. You'd think if RuPaul was white, they would give RuPaul the same attention. You think if Wanda Sykes was a gay white chick, you think she would have got the same attention she got coming up? Let's talk about it, right? Let's be real. African Bambaataa is a sweet boy, right? That's what they say about him. You think they would have let him put some of the lyrics he was putting out in some of those songs if they didn't know that about him? Right. Why do you think they keep my shit suppressed? Not no sweet dude. Did some crazy shit in my life, but ain't never been no faggot. Nope. You can get down like that. That's just the way it is. These dudes is hella gay. And I'm watching it. And I'm just like, whoa. Like I told you, I've been on top of this shit. We're gonna talk about this now. They're our enemies. They're not your friends. I'm gonna call them a fag. They're lucky I don't call the gay women the C word. You know, cunt. They're lucky I don't say that word about them because it's what they are. They're sickening. I need y'all to understand. I'm not impressed or none of that by how the movement that black people be. They would rather barbecue on this day than talk about the same shit that I'm talking about to make it known, like, man, what y'all did to us ain't right. But they'll tell you it's critical race theory to say that it was systemic. So let it sink in. It wasn't systemic. Texas is its own. Texas is the Lone Star state, right? Lone Star. They're like, we're all by ourselves. We're our own little country. Okay, fucking A. That being said, I could believe that a place that believes it's its own country did some weak ass shit and didn't want to free black people right off rip. Where's the surprise there? None. See, but everybody acts like it's not like that, but it's like that. They say what? Don't mess with Texas. Don't fuck with Texas, right? Oh, you think they didn't feel like that back when they didn't they didn't want to let those niggas free? They had to. That's the kind of stuff that wears me out. But right now, at 7:58, about to be 8 o'clock in the Midwest, at about to be 7 o'clock in Mountain Time, okay? About to be 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. There are people celebrating a so-called holiday, and they have no idea what the hell they celebrate. None. And won't even put in their minds, dude, they got to celebrate in the day. They chose to listen. Juneteenth happened before some homosexual shit in this country. Listen, there's been gay dudes and gay girls here since however long there were individuals on this land. I'm sure of it. Just because we don't have no verified instances or cases, no so-called empirical data does not dissipate that truth. That being said, there was not always Afro slaves on this land, okay, who were forced into hardcore servitude that to this day impacts them mentally, physically, and spiritually. And their souls are not the same. Therefore, their finances are messed up, their resources are messed up. Every once in a while, one of them escapes the turmoil long enough to become a beneficiary of the hard work of their people. But they're unwilling to give up what they got. So that way, someone else who would have had a chance to feel hope could just feel hope, let alone be someone who was totally wickedly evil and hopeless. I hope that swine chop tastes good, brothers and sisters. I hope those swine ribs taste good, brothers and sisters. I hope your shrimp skewers taste good with your scallops tonight. I pray your lobster is wonderful and succulent and is a true delicacy. I pray it is. And all the filthy, nasty things you're gonna ingest today, thinking as if you made it. Juneteenth has been made into a joke. Joke-teenth. You know why nobody says nothing? Because there's a whole bunch of gay black people who gonna celebrate Juneteenth. They're like, oh, we get a day, we get a whole month as a faggot, and then we get a day. What the fuck? That's how they gonna do it? That's how they move. That's how they gonna rock with it? But nobody other than me is gonna say, hey, dude, nigga, that's backwards, nigga. Y'all niggas is on some bullshit. Right. And if I say that, then all of a sudden I'm wrong. I'm I'm a hater. When's the last time you asked a gay person to repent? Since I'm a hater, nigga. Oh, God gonna let the faggot into heaven, huh? What kind of God you think you serving, dude? That's what I'm saying. Backwards pimping. They really gonna let people think that gay folks are special and something to be admired and something to be looked at as a marker, as a societal progress. Is that what you want your children to see? I don't want to hear this what they put on the TV. Is that what you want them to see? See, I don't believe in voting. Y'all niggas believe in voting. Word? So here's my question. How can there be so many people who believe in a family life, but then all in the same breath, uh believe that gay people should be able to, whatever they do in the look, whatever you do behind closed doors is on you. But when you start trying to force it on me, I have no choice but to have a pushback campaign. They call heterosexual people toxic. They go, well, you homos are toxic then. And I hope every last one of you gets what you got coming. A filthy, nasty, wicked ass disease that you can't get rid of, that ain't written down in a book because it's an ancient one, and that there is no cure for it. That's what I hope you get. And I hope all the weak ass women who co-sign the faggotry get with a nigga who co-signs it. So that way y'all can spread those nasty ass diseases amongst yourselves and you all die and get the fuck up out of here. I have no love for them. None. Let them repent then. Right. You ain't asked them to repent, nigga. I ain't gonna tell them. I said let them repent. Right. They're terrible and they're horrible and they're wicked. And you praying for them. I'm not praying for no faggot. I'm praying for people that got broken spines. I'm praying for people that got broken hearts and broken minds. I'm praying for people that want tomorrow to be better than today and their next week to be better than their last. That's what I'm praying for. I'm praying for a person who says, Father God, at this time next year, I want you to increase me sevenfold, Father God, for all the rest of my days, that the people may see you flourish in my life and see me flourish. Right. See you flourish because they don't believe that you're real. So everything I get, I bless to you. It's all him. They don't want to see that. These athletes are afraid to do the right thing. Like I said, they don't go out giving out $100 bills in the hood. They could easily do that with armed security. Right. I ain't about to pay the drug dealer no more money. Right. But these are people who have real life phone bills. These are people who need to go buy IDs. These are people who are like, man, right, that $100 just put me in a hotel tonight. Right. Th- Right. Dumb shit. These niggas don't even give out. Okay, you don't want to buy nobody nothing. You want to give them no money. Okay, go buy the stuff with your own money and give it out. Right. Let them fuck it up. Right. Connect them to the services. You don't even do that. They don't even do that. I connect people. Do y'all know that I do that for people? Somebody says, "Hey man, I'm a carpenter." Ooh, ooh, ooh. I call one of my people up who I know is in a certain kind of game, and then I see what I can do right then and there. Then I say, "What's their name?" Ooh, ooh, ooh. Name. And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." I get them the number, and I say, "Call this person in this many days, and just let them know that Demetrius let you know to call." That's it. You put people on, man. You don't put people out. Put me in the game, coach. Don't put me on the bench. Right. See, but that's the thing though, is that I'm trying to help. I'm not trying to hurt, and I don't want nobody to think that I'm not trying to be helpful. You have sons and daughters. You have children. You do not have kids. If you consider your children kids, they're wild animals. I don't expect a wild animal to practice being heterozygous until it's time for them to copulate. That being said, I can't think of too many animals that go out of their way to be homosexuals. Like, go out their way. They say there's a lizard species of all females that hump one another and they create babies, but maybe they can't identify the internal organs of these animals, even though they've tried to. No different than maybe they can't explain how an animal really propels itself to fly. They say the pressure under the wing is greater than that above the wing. But you see birds fly in the wind all the time. So what are they talking about? Hold on. Like, what are they talking about? Oh, they're just finding pockets of air and float. Dude, what about the internal body? What about that? What about the inner strength in your core body? There's no core propulsion in an animal. It just sounds completely, utterly ridiculous. They think they know something and they don't. Juneteenth is what? A day where they eat swine chops, swine ribs, maybe some beef, maybe some chicken, macaroni salad, right? And all the other little fixings, their baked beans and all that, maybe some pork and beans. Yeah. And they talk about how, oh, Texas was the last place to let us go free. Looking stupid, sounding stupid. Do they even have an idea of how they look and sound to the people? I know they hate it. I know they can't stand it. I know there's a part of them that really hates me because they realize that they had their chance to speak about this and they didn't take it. See, I don't have a sound machine. I film way better just being me. It's just authentic. I used to share the screen. I was doing other shit back in the day. So a lot of those videos are still on YouTube. I'm sharing the screen, breaking it down. I feel like I said, I feel like YouTube took that shit away because I was one of the ones that was breaking it all the way down. I'm really using your system and I'm getting it done. Whole website's taken down outside of this. You got to go watch those videos to see what the website said. That's how they did it. I'm not going to be mad at them. Why would I be mad at them for doing what they're supposed to do, which is suppressing the truth? If I was a threat, they would suppress me. If I wasn't, I'm saying I am. I'm saying if I was a threat to them, which I believe I am, they would suppress me. If I wasn't a threat, right on, they would let it flourish. The people that they let flourish are not a threat to them. Let this sink in. How much of a threat is Alex Jones right now? Hmm? How much of a threat is Joe Rogan? Right? All that money that these guys are supposed to be getting is like once again, these dudes are not threats. Can you hear me? They're not threats. They're controlled fucking puppets. I'm gonna get mines no matter what. They get mad because a nigga like me get out there and go get it. I ain't afraid to go get it. But I know what's mine and I know what's not mine. I don't need riches. I just need enough to show people that if I had riches, how much more would it change? And are you sure that the people that you give all this money to are on your side? Sports generate money, but do they generate money for communities to be taken care of? No, because most of the people who go to the games have pink skin. And they don't think that this money should be going to interurban places, even though the individuals that they enjoy the most come from intercities. Let that sink in. There's some guys in there that yeah, they grew up in really good households, but there's a lot more guys that actually just they did it the hard way. Right. Michael Jordan grew up in a two-parent household. What about that? Yeah. But look how Michael Jordan had to live. Like, look at the era he lived in. It was dangerous as fuck. Those times were dangerous. You think that a white person couldn't have pulled up on Michael Jordan? White people the Klan or some shit like that couldn't have pulled up on them and lynched them. Did some weak shit like that. Man, you niggas is like, once again, these dudes who don't understand how life really goes are out their mind. We can't even conversate with them because they don't get it. Don't waste your time talking to nobody like that. Like I said, nigga, this Juneteenth shit. Those niggas ain't got, look, like I said, them fuck niggas ain't got nothing to lose. Okay? And the people that they enjoy the most come from terrible places. Period. That's it. Juneteenth is one of those things where they get to shit on you without shitting on you. We'll make them shit on themselves. We're going to make them celebrate a day where we already should have honored the law of the land and let them go free and be free. So-called free. Y'all understand that? What's freedom? What is freedom? Explain it to me. Like, is it a tangible thing that you can feel? Or is it an expression of desires, of opportunities? Is that freedom? Or is that gluttony? Or is that overindulgence? What is freedom? Is freedom the ability to collect rainwater so that way if there's a drought, you can still water your land? Is that freedom? Is freedom the ability to have as many children as you desire, no matter the consequences, for better or for worse, or for the greatest thing, or for complete destruction? Is freedom the ability to practice promiscuity and an innumerable number of actions that are all highly questionable? Is that freedom? Is freedom someone putting it on paper, telling you that you're free, and that if today, this very day, they said you're no longer free? Is that freedom? Because they told you? Ain't none of them. And once again, I don't care. I'm telling the truth. I have no need to lie to you. Let me hit this chronicle quick before my blood pressure go up. Some of that piff. Shit got me hot as fuck. I just be thinking about that. Don't nobody know. I be angry. Literally angry. I'll just be like, yo, am I the only one thinking about this? Right. I went down to go get a beer earlier. I killed the beer in contemplation of making this video because I was so hot. I was gonna drink the beer while how I sip my little brewski. I'm like, fuck that. I don't even care. If I got this wine up in here, I'll just pour a little bit of this wine. I'll sip on that and then I'll be done. Because I'm aggravated. Something ain't right. Something is all the way awry. We're talking like monumental level here. How can you be worried about black people and you have a day that's supposed to commemorate when they forgot? Once again, critical race theory there would be no Juneteenth. They would just say that all these guys were a little bit behind because there were no carriers that made it because the battles were so intense. They would just lie. They would make some shit up down the line, and everybody would be like, "That's the truth," until somebody went and found some obscure information that said that that wasn't the truth. That's why we got to get the Most High God. We got to get his man. We got to hit his line, man. We got to call his cell phone. Okay, we got to send him a DM. All right, all the way, and get him to come down here and do the things that he's supposed to do, that he said he would do, that he's gonna do. I know a lot of people are scared to see it done in their life because that means it's over. It's over. All the shit that we do, all this laptop shit, all this is done. They're afraid of that. That part they can't embrace. They can't really accept or acknowledge that he's taken all this getting rid of all of it. He's gonna give us a whole nother life to live with a real purpose. This is a purposeless life. This is why there's so many angry individuals, because they don't have a true purpose where people can come to see them every day for the same thing. And when they're not well, people understand that the people take care of them. And it's their job to do the same thing. Well, but people aren't driven by a purpose. I know my purpose is to help people. Everybody say you're a teacher, you're a preacher, la di da. I don't believe that so much as I believe that I'm here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for a reason. Uh, I believe I help teach and preach to a certain degree, but I can't explain it to anybody. They'd have to be me, to really know what I feel about myself, and like how the tribulations that I faced have put me in this position to speak on these things, whether they believe like, oh, you use too many vulgarities, whatever. That's your opinion. What about the people who don't use vulgarities and drop nuclear bombs and chemical weapons on people? You feel the same way about them? Did you go at them the same way? No, you don't. Right. So that's once again, you niggas is sick and mentally ill, and you've profaned the holy name of the Most High God. I'm in the land of the unclean, therefore my lips are unclean. In other words, I can't help it, even though I can. I just choose in those moments to express what it is that first thing that came to my mind, as opposed to allowing myself to articulate it just for a moment. As you guys hear me speak and you hear me say these things, I literally give myself a brief moment of pause up here in the thought process. That way I can better spew the words that I'm going to say. I can better spill the words I'm going to say. I can better say the words in such formulated fashion that you can tell he thought about it, but not too hard and not too long. Sometimes I have to think about certain things to remember or to bring it into remembrance. But most other things, it's not like that. I just want to speak to you and express myself in such a way where in which you understand that I'm speaking to you, not at you. Only a coward would feel like I'm speaking at them because they're afraid of the truth. You cannot remain doing the things that you do and be mad at the Most High God. People pray to the Most High God for their shortcomings. If God only didn't hate me, if I wasn't cursed, I don't blame the curses for my situation. I blame me. I blame the individuals who hate me unrighteously for my situation. Because if it wasn't, it's no different than a person being locked up unrighteously, right? Someone hated them, someone despised them. No matter what anyone says, they can say, oh, the system failed that person, but you acknowledging the failure of the system does not give them back the time in their life. That's why it has to be blood for blood. Once again, you can't take from me something that you can't give back and then merely want me to forgive you. Now, mind you, the same individuals do not believe in God, let alone Jesus. They don't believe in any of that. But they want you to practice forgiveness, a concept that comes straight out of a book that when you look at their form of forgiveness versus every other form of forgiveness, it means to live and let live. But they didn't live and let live in a situation where in which an individual did not take life. An individual was accused of something like theft. You hear me? So-called property damage. And the claim of the property damage was so great, it might have been $10 worth of damage. Your Honor, he did $10,000 worth of damage. We're talking about like in like the 1930s. $10,000 worth of damage in the 30s. He's done forever. No proof or nothing. Man owes that money for the rest of his life. You think they didn't? What? Just because you can't go find every circuit court case, just because you can't go find every court case, every town village court case, doesn't mean it didn't happen in succession. Young black boy says this white man raped me. Young black girl pregnant with the baby, saying the white man raped her. The baby come out clearly a half breed, and they're telling her that one of her family members must have done it. Juneteenth? Come on, man. This is why I be looking at folks like, who the fuck you think you talking to, nigga? Right. Don't come at me with none of that sideways. I'm not gonna tell you about yourself. I won't indicate the obvious discrepancies and indiscretions. I'm talking about obvious ones that I'll pick up immediately from a person, and they'll get upset. I know guys who grow their hair out and put it in locks and be like, "Oh, this is the source of my strength," like Samson. Not realizing, like, nigga, do you realize this dude's Samson's mother did not eat meat nor drink while she was pregnant? Do they understand that? Do they understand that? Okay then. Right. But they don't want to hear that though, do they? That's why he's so strong. There's a process to it. She didn't eat certain things. She didn't drink certain things. She obviously did whatever she did. Right. And never cut his hair. Never cut his hair. There's a formula to Samson's strength. But you also have to believe in the Most High God. You have to understand that Samson's mother was not an Israelite. She was a Philistine. There is legends of her making league with the Most High God, her saying that her husband was a weak man and all those other things. Now, in retrospect, compared to a true Philistine, no Israelite was like in stature. So the idea that I'm perceiving when I say that to you now is different than when I first read it and just took it as a direct insult against a man's persons because I'm able to recognize these things. Once again, I'm not a teacher or a preacher in true fashion, but I do understand. We talk about all these things and they don't get that you betrayed everything. They hate themselves. Do they realize that Samson's mother was special? They think that they're just going to, they think that their visage is special. They be light skinned sometimes, they think they're special. They be dark skinned, they look like this, my skin tone. Right on. If I get out in the sun and I let myself darken up, I get darker. Otherwise, I'm kind of light brown, like I am right now. That's the thing. People who feel some type of way because they're like this. But I know what it is because I know what I see. I know that Noah was an albino, or he was white as snow, whiter than snow, and redder than a rose. This dude looked like a complete alien. Alien, okay, as the Rugrats used to say. All right, that man looked like an alien. But it explained why he didn't panic when the seven holy angels came down, who were like white men, and he met with certain angels. It explains why he didn't panic because he looked totally different himself. I'm the only one to express this to the people. I know. Why they don't understand why Juneteenth is a slap in the face, straight doodle in the cornflakes, right on, and all the way. All right, trying to piss in a cup and telling you it's beer, all that. It's straight nonsense. I'm not doing that. I'm not thirsty or hungry. I'm good. I'll wait. All right, I'm good. I'd rather go somewhere and buy from another culture on a day like Juneteenth than go to one of these places celebrating Juneteenth. not realizing like they put you don't even want your month to be a month where it's the same day or the same month. And think about that. Think about how much more impact Juneteenth would have if Black History Month and Juneteenth were the same month. It would be totally different. But they're not. They're different. Nobody would care. Once again, let the gay dudes have the shortest month. Why do Black people get the shortest month and then you have a day in the middle of you have a day in the middle of a month where homosexuals in a month where you are acknowledging homosexuals and their non-contributions to society other than infectious diseases and an overly privileged way of thought, overly indulgent, capricious individuals who have an untamed and insatiable appetite. Homosexuals are the worst. I'm trying to tell y'all, like they're the absolute. Other than like straight up murderers who just wipe out bloodlines, homosexuals are silent murderers. They kill off bloodlines. Whole bloodlines be dead. And people get mad. Once again, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me for telling the truth. Oh, he blames gay people for everything. They're the worst. They're the worst. They're worse than drug dealers. Because guess what? A whole bunch of the drug dealers, are gay. A bunch of the niggas you think are steppers and shooters are gay. Them niggas is faggots. And we celebrating Juneteenth. They of course they want to celebrate it because they want to try to prove and validate their blackness. I don't have to validate nothing. Them bitch ass niggas. Anyway, man. Black people. Before I get ready to head out this next couple minutes, I just need y'all to know. You're up against the worst of the worst. There are none like them. Why read an article repetitiously when we already know what happened? Let's just go back and look over a couple of things as I laugh about it. Whoa. What does it say? At the stroke of midnight, prayers were answered. What? Stop right there. Ain't that about a bitch? Prayers. What about prayers of getting the fuck out of this land? We got to get free first. Do you have to get free to really get free from here? Let's keep reading bullshit out of here. I ain't even shitting on the author. I'm just saying. But not everyone in Confederate territory would immediately be free. Even though the Emancipation Proclamation was made effective in 1863, it cannot be implemented in all places under Confederate control. Whoa, i.e., white man said, fuck all that. I ain't honoring that shit. Bitch ass niggas, you my slave. Unless it was like I said earlier, niggas like, I ain't going nowhere, massa. I stays here. Right? I want to know. Well, y'all just don't know. I'm cold-blooded. Cold-blooded when it comes to that. I don't care. I don't have to read any more of that. Because that proved it all right there. They don't understand. Those were some. Texas is some real the South will rise again looking ass motherfuckers. On everything. You find more. The South gonna rise again looking ass. In Texas than you find anywhere else. Them dudes is hateful. We ain't even gonna worry about Texas. We just gonna talk about the truth and the fact that niggas everywhere all across the U.S. celebrate this day more than the actual day of the emancipation. Let that sink in, brothers and sisters. I'm about to roll out now. Oh, I'm cold-blooded, huh? How many more black people do you think were free during the emancipation than during that one singular event? Yet, we encapsulate that. One moment. January what? January 1. You think they'd let them do a gay boy month in January? Of course not. Salute you. I salute you again, and I salute you once more. Brothers and sisters, you know I love y'all. So I have to break down the truth. The truth is, as I just said, they picked the month, they picked the day, so that way they could make a mockery of us. Let that sink in, brothers and sisters. They picked the month and they picked the day that they would make a mockery of us by allowing it to be conjoled or in some sort of conjunction with the month of degenerates. The same sort of degenerates who raped your great great grandfathers and your great great grandmothers on those plantations, whether she was impregnated, whether he was made diseased or not. Mm. May tomorrow be better than today, and may your next week be better than your last.